Hi LEGO fans, good news, we're back and this time it's not a LEGO Friends set. Today we're going to be unboxing, speed building and reviewing set number 70615, the Fire Mech from the Ninjago movie. This is number 6 in a series of Ninjago movie set reviews. Previously we've reviewed Ninjago City Chase, the Green Ninja Mech Dragon, Ninjago City, Manta Ray Bomber, and of course my ultimate guide to feeling out Ninjago movie collectible minifigure blind bags. So if you've not already checked those out, be sure to check out the playlist after you finish watching this video. This time we're reviewing Kai's Fire Mech, which looks like an awesome set. I particularly like this bright red coloration. This is a fairly substantial set, coming in with 944 pieces, and the box feels good and heavy. It feels like we're getting some Lego for our money here. We also get 6 minifigures. We have Kai, Zane, Lauren, Henry, Hammerhead and Jelly. This set doesn't look bad value for money, especially with the 944 piece part count. I got this at my local Lego store and it cost me $70 US. You can also get it in Europe for €70 and in Great Britain for £60. And if you go to the Lego store before the end of October, they're giving away this free mini Ninja Green Mech Dragon with 60 pieces in a poly bag if you spend $35 or more. So what we're getting here is essentially a big robot. This thing stands 14 inches tall and has multiple points of articulation. Before we rip open the box, let's take a quick look at the back and see what this thing does. Cool! So if I'm brutally honest, this thing doesn't do an awful lot. It's more about being a cool mech and something that you can do role-playing games with. Or you can do what I'm going to do, and that's put it on a shelf and admire it from afar. We do have these very cool looking non-shooting fire blasters on the ends of each arm, and each of the shoulders comes equipped with a disc shooter, which looks very cool. We'll certainly be demonstrating that after we've done the speed build. It's also great that the mech has a cockpit built into the chest. That gives Kai somewhere to sit when he controls the Fire Mech. And the final thing that impressed me about this set was the array of minifigures that comes with it. Getting 6 minifigures in a set at this price point is pretty good, and it looks like we're getting some exclusive minifigs with this mech. Okay, I think you've heard enough of me talking. Let's get this box open and see what we've got inside. Here's everything we get inside the box. We have 8 numbered bags of Lego, an instruction manual, and a sticker sheet that looks like it's going to be a world of pain to apply. Cool! We're going to go ahead and get this built, and today we're going to roll it up into a 90-second speed build. And here's the completed build. This took about 90 minutes to put together, and the end result is a really impressive Fire Mech. It stands about 14 inches tall and it completely dwarfs the minifigures. I mean, these guys look like ants stood next to the mech. So initial impressions after having completed the build are very positive, but let's get in there, play with it and look at all the detail. Starting at the top we have these 2 banners. These are stickered pieces and add about 3 inches to the height of the mech. These are adjustable, so if you want to, you can angle them differently. The Fire Mech either seems to be based on or constructed from parts of a fire engine, and that would explain the red and blue lights on either side of the cockpit. The canopy of the mech is a single clear plastic piece, and that folds down, revealing an area where we can sit Kai in order to control the Fire Mech. The mech doesn't have many controls, there are only 2 levers which Kai can't really reach, but there is plenty of space inside the cockpit of the mech for Kai to sit. Once inside, we can simply lift up the canopy to protect Kai from the elements. That's not the only way to access the mech's cockpit. We also have an opening door on top, where the minifigure could jump in and out. The lights on either side of the cockpit are movable, so if you're an obsessive compulsive like me, you can line them up so it's a much more pleasing result. Beneath the cockpit, we have this movable panel here, which looks like it was once the hood of a fire engine. Before we take a look at the legs, let's take a look at these impressive arms, because this is where the really cool stuff happens. And by cool, I mean shooting flying discs at the dog or cat cool. Yes, we have one of these disc firing guns on each of the shoulders of the mech. And around the back we even have a couple of spares attached to the fuel tanks, because LEGO knows we are going to lose these things. I'm pleased to say these discs are printed pieces and have this very cool swirly fire design on them. I'm going to do that one more time because you can never have enough demonstrations in a LEGO review video. We have a ball joint on each of the shoulders so that we can rotate them forwards and backwards and up and down. One criticism of this set, which I have to make, is that these shoulder joints just aren't strong enough to hold the arms up in the air. So if I position them very carefully like that, they will stay for a little while. But if they get even the slightest little knock, these things are going to fall down. The joints just aren't strong enough to support the weight of those arms. We have another 2 planes of movement on the lower arm. We can move it up and down, or we can move it side to side, which gives us many different options for posing the mech. Behind the elbow joint we have a dial here, and by turning this we can make the entire lower arm turn around and make the fire gun spin. I really like these large fire elements made of 2 different colours of plastic. Those are very cool pieces. These fire hoses are also really neat, but they don't connect directly to the tanks on the back of the mech, so we have to assume that the propellant is flowing through the body of the mech and down the arms. These are the tanks located on the back of the mech that hold the propellant, and these look very cool. The only downside here is that the detailing on the tanks is actually a stickered piece, which was really difficult to put on. This isn't very easy to see, but we actually have 3 hip joints on each side of the mech to join the legs to the body. There's almost 1,000 pieces in this set, and it is quite heavy, so we really do need that extra support to hold it all together. The hip joints allow the legs to be flexed out on either side, which isn't very useful unless you want to make your mech do the splits. The legs also move forwards and backwards, which is cool, but not a great deal of use because, honestly, trying to find a position where he can actually stand while you've got the legs flexed other than in a centralized position is really difficult. And this thing will fall over and break if you're not very careful. That incident was not staged, and it did give me a little bit of a heart-stopping moment, but we've got the mech standing up again. I've been talking about points of articulation that include shoulders, elbows, hips, but where this mech differs is that it doesn't have moving knees. We have all manner of decorative elements that make the mech look like it's got knees, but they don't in fact bend, and given the heft of the mech, I think that's a really wise decision. What we do get here are 2 blue clips, and that gives me an idea. Now, it did occur to me that when I was putting Kai inside the cockpit that there was nowhere to put his katanas, so I'm guessing this is going to be where we put those katanas while he rides the mech. And yes, that does kind of work. The feet of the mech are very big, and to illustrate that point, here's one of the minifigures from the set. It's not just a case of looking impressive, we actually need those large feet for the stability. Otherwise this mech is going to fall over at every opportunity. The feet also have a point of articulation in the shape of a ball joint. That means we can flex the foot from side to side, forwards and backwards. We can pivot it like this. We can even pivot the toes, and we have a little bit of movement on this decorative element there. So that's our super cool fire mech. Let's take a look at the minifigures. From left to right, we have Kai, Hammerhead, Lauren, Henry, Jelly, and Zane. Kai, of course, is the Red Ninja, and he's dressed in his Red Ninja outfit to match the Fire Mech. He also comes with his signature weapons, the pair of katanas. Now this is a very nicely printed uniform that he's wearing. At the front here you can see we've got this nice open, almost like a ninja kimono here, and a little bit of metallic printing at the top. That printing continues down onto the pants there. You can see we've got some printing across the waistband and onto the pants. There is no printing on the pants at the back, but we do have this very nice metallic symbol on the back of the ninja outfit. The dual piece headgear is very nice. We've also got some printing on there. We've got a little bit of metallic on the front, and if we pop that off we can see a different expression on the back, and he looks a lot more happy there, as if he's just won the battle. So that is a very nice Kai minifig, and there he is. This is Hammerhead from the Shark Army, and he's wearing the standard issue Shark Army suit, which we see on most of these characters. We have all kinds of things printed on here, like the utility belt and shiny metallic printed buckles. And if we look to the back, you can see that that belt also wraps around the back there. And we have some breathing apparatus. Now the star of the show here is this one-piece moulded shark head. And that does look very, very good. If we hold it like this, it actually does look very much like a hammerhead shark. This is one of those nice special pieces that comes in its own little bag within the set, which is awesome. Very, very pleased to have that. We have two different expressions, one with open mouth and one with closed mouth, which isn't very different. And yeah, altogether, he is a very cool minifig. I really like Hammerhead. I almost forgot to show you Hammerhead's weapon, and like the rest of the Shark Army, they have weapons that are coming out of the end of these fish elements, and in this case we have a big hammer for Hammerhead. This is Lauren. I don't know whether she's going to be a major character in the movie or perhaps just a bit part character, but she is a very nicely printed minifig. I really like that print on the front there with all of the different colours. That printing also continues down onto the legs, and she's wearing these kind of shorts here, and she's got a sash around her waist, and then you can see we've got some metallic printing on the feet, and it looks like she's wearing a pair of sandals. Turning it around onto the back, we have minimal printing there, but that completes the outline of her figure. So looking at the front here, she looks quite alarmed with that face, and she's got this beautiful orange hair, which is done out in waves, and that's very cool. So let's just take that off and have a look at the expression on the back, and she definitely seems to have calmed down a little bit here. So that is Lauren. I really like that minifigure. It's very, very good. Then we have Henry. I don't know whether Henry and Lauren are together. Perhaps they are tourists, but Henry is enjoying this yellow popsicle, and he's also got some unique printing on him. These pants look like they're going to be just plain, but there's actually some unique printing along here for the belt, and you can see the shiny belt buckle there. And then it's difficult to say what the meaning of the printing on the front of his shirt is, but certainly we've got one of these fish symbols and some what looks like Japanese scripture. And similarly on the back, we've got some more symbols there which I couldn't possibly understand. So maybe he is a tourist to Ninjago City. Again, I think if we take off this hairpiece, we're going to see another expression at the back. Oh, wow. And yeah, he's very much less happy on the back there. So that is Henry. He's a very cool minifigure. This is the awesome Jelly, and he is carrying another Shark Army weapon. This time it has a gun on the end, which we'll come back to. So let's just take that out of the way for the moment, and we need to focus on Jelly's outfit here. So he is not dressed in standard issue printed Shark Army clothing. He's got this sleeveless top on here, and you can see tentacles kind of flowing down the body there. He's also got one of these utility belts with metallic printing and a slightly different print on the legs. Let's just have a look at the back. There's no printing on the back of the legs, but we do have some printing on the back. So the very unique thing about Jelly here is this headpiece, which is very unusual. I don't think I've seen anything like this before, although I can imagine maybe we've seen one of these in the SpongeBob sets, maybe for Sandy the Squirrel. And with this, it's two pieces of very hard, rigid plastic, and this just clips off. this is not something you're going to want to do very often because I think you could very easily break this. But it does split into two halves. We've got some little pins there that hold it together around the head and a hole at the base. And with that off, we can take a look at Jelly's face. And there he is. He's got kind of a ginger beard thing going on here. And I don't think we'll have an expression on the back because we wouldn't be able to hide it with his jellyfish headgear. Okay, let's put that back on, which is a little fiddly, but it works. Yep, that is on. And let's just take a look at this gun. So what we have here is the fish element, which is common to all of the Shark Army characters. And then we have one of these stud firing guns, which works very well. So that is our Shark Army character, Jelly. I'm not sure I'll ever see that stud again, but moving along, this is Zane, and he is the white ninja dressed in this very nice printed ninja outfit. And there is some metallic printing on the front there. I'm not sure what those things are on his belt. Maybe that's a radio, but yeah, maybe we'll find out in the movie when it comes out on September 22nd. He has his signature bow and arrow, and if we turn him around, he also has a quiver on the back there to hold his spare arrows. A little bit of printing on the back there too. And let's take a look at his face. So we have those piercing blue eyes and a little bit of printing on the headgear here. Let's take that off so we can get a closer look at his expression. If I turn that around a little bit, you get a sense of his mouth. He looks quite almost mean and determined there. And then if we turn him around, he's got a much happier expression on the back. He's a very happy chappy. So let's put him back together. This is our white ninja, and he is the awesome Zane. So that was set number 70615, Fire Mech from the Ninjago movie. This set comes so close to perfection. It looks very cool, it's fun to play with, it has a good selection of minifigures, and the price to part ratio is just about right. The only real annoyance with this set is the arms that just won't stay in the position that you want them to. That's something that could have been easily resolved with a little bit more LEGO engineering, so it's annoying that they put out a set with that shortcoming. But on balance, I am a fan of the Fire Mech, and if you've got $70 to go out and buy a Ninjago movie set, this is a really good one to consider. I do hope you enjoyed this unboxing, speed build and review video. If you did, and you're feeling super awesome, please don't forget to hit the like button down below. I release 2 of these LEGO review videos every single week, and your support makes it all worthwhile, thank you. So if you've not already done so, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button for more awesome LEGO content. Thanks for checking out my channel, have an awesome day, and we'll see you on the next build video.